Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Raytac here, and I have got what has got to be one of my favorite games of all time. This is probably going to be one of the longer Let's Play I do, if I am actually able to do this beyond this first few episodes. And it's for an older game, a much older game, called Might and Magic 6, The Mandate of Heaven. This was made back in 96 or 97. 1996 or 1997, that is. And it's actually made on the Horizon and Labyrinth game engines, which were at the time near on revolutionary game engines. The problem is this game is several years old and modern computers don't run it too well, and that's why there's some problem with the audio. Hopefully once I get in and am able to adjust the options, that issue is going to go away. So let's get started with that. Also, the entry screen is sometimes a bit wonky. This is an older game, as I said. It's actually...
Having cheated death during the night of shooting stars, you find yourself as far from your village of Sweetwater as old Falagar's magic could take you. 3 years have passed while Falagar imparted what knowledge he could to train you in your chosen professions. But the time came at last when he could teach you no more, and you have ventured into the world to seek your fame and fortune. Now, a world away from your lost home, you have stumbled across evidence of a terrible conspiracy involving a new religious cult. 5 letters from King Roland to his wife Catherine, and a letter from the King of the Devils to a wicked traitor named Solman have turned up in an abandoned goblin camp. Your fate seems inextricably bound to these letters and that awful night, and your role in the events to come may be larger than anyone could imagine. The tools you have are but a small sum of gold, your wits, and a lot of potential. The roads ahead are infinite, and all the choices are yours to make. So choose wisely. Good luck.
Alright, so let's get through the character creation screen. This video game, and the Might and Magic series in general, have got to be what I would consider probably the best adaptation of Dungeons and Dragons to a computer game. And this one is my particular favorite, closely tied with Might and Magic 7. I haven't liked the later ones, 9, 10, as much. They're actually currently working on 10. It's in alpha right now. But the company that's making it is not the company that made 6, 7, and 8, because this company, 3DO, is actually now out of service. They are no longer a functioning company. But anyway, so you've got your character classes, which are down here. You've got knights, clerics, sorcerers, paladins, archers, and druids. And this is, I would say, a pretty standard selection of characters. You've got your paladin, archer, cleric, and sorcerer. And each one fills specific roles. For example, your sorcerer is going to be your heavy magic user, whereas your cleric will be more of your buff character and healer, or will be your healer. You can interchangeably switch the cleric out with a druid, but I prefer sticking with a cleric. This is actually the group that I normally select, but if you were wanting to, say, try a challenge game or something, one common challenge group is to run with a team of 4 sorcerers and try to dominate that way. Really difficult at the beginning of the game, but when you start getting later on in the levels and you start getting access to the high-level magic, you can be an utterly devastating group. Okay, quick rundown of classes. Let's see here. Basic Knight class. The Knight would be the class that has purely physical attributes. Your intellect, and your personality, your intelligence and wisdom for those D&D players are not going to be as high, because the Knight is a purely physical class. Never gets magic. Is all focused on melee damage or range damage, if you build them that way. I prefer the Paladin. They're not quite as adept as the Knight in physical combat, but they do trade off with having some access to magic, which some enemies can only be hurt by magic, so it's a trade-off you have to make. For the second character, I like choosing archers. It's another balance class, kind of like the paladin, but whereas the paladin is focused on the spirit or spirit, body, and mind magics, which are the cleric's selection, the archer is focused on the sorcerer's selection of spells. As you can see from the fact that they get air magic. Sorcerers get elemental, clerics get spiritual and body magic. That's odd, the music just cut out, not sure why. But then, yeah. Now, you've got 50 bonus points that you can select. You can divide up between the group. It can vary on depending on where you want to go. But another thing to make sure that you do is you can see here that I've got 4 skill slots for each class, and each class does start with 2 dedicated slots that are always going to be dedicated. You can't change those. Now, another good idea, at least at the beginning of the game, is to try to make sure that everyone has a ranged weapon style. Now, unfortunately, only the archer of these beginning classes can get that. But everyone has access to something in the fact that they can all learn some kind of magic. Each school of magic has low-level spells that people can have. Alright, so... Oh man, it's been so long since I played this game. Having your wizard be an identifier is actually a good idea because identify is closely tied with the intellect. So they will have the better chances of determining what an item is and things like that. It's really good for I'm blanking. It really is closely based to Dungeons and Dragons style gameplay. Cleric, I try to have her be I'm gonna give you armor, so we're gonna do that, and diplomacy, so you can be our talker. You're gonna be the talker. You're gonna get shield and chain, because you're gonna be our tank. Okay, so, oh, you've got one more slot. I want to go with air. No, water. I need water magic, not air magic. Or, not air magic, I need water and identify item for you. Now for the fun part. Let's see, I've got 4 characters, 50 points. That means I can divide 12.25 points to each person. But, let's see here. I like bringing everyone up to at least 10 for all of their base stats. That way nobody's, like, seriously hurting in any regard. They will go up in time as they level up and get stronger. Obviously. Typical gameplay. But you do want to remember what people's primary stats will be. So for her, it's personality. For this character, it's accuracy. Try to make sure that everyone's got something they're really good with. He needs a decent personality. And always try to give at least 1 point bonus to your endurance, because, hey, endurance is health. And that's the beginning of the game. Okay. Options. Game options. Okay. I'm just gonna kill the music volume. Alright. Now, this game is not played with the mouse. It is played with just the, It is played with just the keyboard. So, I'm gonna get my mouse out of the way over there. Well, you can do some things with the mouse, but typically you'll want to, you just use the keyboard. Now, this is actually, while it is a free world game, it does have a turn-based combat system that you can activate just by hitting the enter button. I don't want to worry about that right now. I want to worry about inventory. Okay, so, everyone, no matter what class they are, starts off wielding one of these clubs. It's a meh weapon. But they also start off with for the sorcerer, start off with an empty vial and that blue root. They're called Ferna roots, and they give you magic potions. Any character who starts off with magic also starts off with at least one spell book for their known style of magic. Cleric has a mace. Still better than the club. Let's see here. Club 1d3 and mace is 2d4. Pretty similar to D&D. Primitive weapon usable by even the stupidest of monsters. You're not thinking of using this, are you? And then you got your armor on. She's got poppy snaps. They give an energy potion. It's a basic potion that adds 10 to your stats here for a short time. And then she learns first aid, so she can now be our healer. She's already started on a path to being a healer. Now, our little archer got 2 different ones. She got an energy and a blue, and then you can mix those to make resistance. Resistance lets you resist like poison, cold, things like that. And then she's also learned static charge, which is a nice little spell. I'll leave the club in her hand for now. And that's no good, so we'll just leave that aside for the moment. Now you are our main fighter. Sword and shield, and bless. He is the iconic warrior knight. Now, he's witch's ring. We don't need to worry about that. These are... Oh, wait, you got a magic ring. Fine ring of cold resistance gives me a small bonus to cold resistance. You've got a fine ring of luck. Okay. And with that done, we can now enter this town. Now, one of the things that you can do with your mouse is if you see a sign and you're close to it, you can nose over it to see what is what. For example, this is Welcome to the Town of New Sorpable. Now, shift does run. Wells do things. This well does nothing, but these main town wells, these main town fountains here, will do different things. Like I believe this is a hit health one, then one is a magic. Oh, and one gives you plus 10 to your strength score. Knife shop is your weapons. This is just the basic town. I'm only gonna do some of the basic stuff in this first town for now. Then next to the weapon shop is the armor shop. Then let's see, back here you've got a staircase up just to a little bonus area. Oh, you can also talk with all the characters, and the graphics aren't the best, but then again, this was made back in 96 or 97. Your actions will actually change how people view you, and you can see that on... Come on, where is it? Nope. Okay. Change it on here, the reputation. My reputation is currently average, but that's because I haven't done anything at all. I haven't helped anyone, and I haven't hurt anyone. I haven't done any quests either. But then you come... Let's see here. You see these... There's these 2 blank slots here, and that's where if for example, she didn't hate me, I could talk to her, and she's a trader, so she might give me a bonus to my diplomacy and let me buy things better or sell things for a slightly higher price. And that's what the traveling characters do. They just like they can be either just like little snippets of information or just obstacles in your way because sometimes they will just like get stuck in your way and you need to get around them. And then when you come to houses are where you'll find quests, and they're also where you'll find teachers. For example, this guy Sheila teaches identification expertise, and unfortunately I don't have the skill, but not only do you find the teachers, but they will also tell you where another teacher is. For example, the next level of training for identification is in the town called Freehaven. I'm not going to be worried about getting there just yet. And I come back downstairs, and I know one of these houses has a quest, but it's been... Oh, Blades End memberships. Thing about memberships. Some different businesses won't let you learn from them. For example, this is the Blades End, where we just saw that I could get the membership. Must be a member of the guild to study here. Now, the thing about why you'd want to be a memberships, you get them here at these first couple towns, or you can get several of them here in this town, then you can get some of them in another town. they will teach you other skills. For example, Blade's End will teach you combat-oriented skills such as, yes, I want to learn that. Such as swords. They'll teach you how to use melee weapons, and they'll teach you armor. The thing is, you don't want to learn too many skills because it will divide how many skill points you have to allot to everything later on. But I do want to have him learn staff. Now, skill cost, everyone's skills right now are are the same price, but later on when I've got higher diplomacy or they already know skills, it'll cost just a bit more for them to learn. Then let's see here. The 3 Barrels is the General's Goods Store, and it's just a little place to buy like potion ingredients or potions. But that's for cheap basic items. If you really want potions, you have to find the potion shop that's going to be in just about every town. One of the nice things about this game is that there are these horseshoes. Horseshoes give you free experience points, which is always a helpful thing. Let's see here. General Goods Store Bank. When you die, you lose all the money that you've got in hand. So you want to deposit money regularly in case you die. And if you do like I do and you die frequently, really, depositing money is a good thing. I don't need mind magic yet. I'm just trying to refresh my memory on where everyone is right now. This is the training grounds. Training grounds. When you get experience from killing monsters or completing quests, you don't automatically level up. You have to come to a training ground and train. He said I need 693 more experience to train. So, Earth Magic Expertise. I'm looking around because one of these is supposed to give me a quest. I don't remember which one, though. Yeah. Anyway, and then there's the inn. I should have gone to the inn earlier. Okay, this basic inn has one of your first things. Fellow travelers, Andover Potbellow, the follower of Ba. I have a letter, which if I click on this, my dear Solomon, you have done well, and I here promote you to the High Priest of the Second Circle. There is a sum of gold waiting for you in the hands of Andover Potbellow in the New Circle that he will turn over to you if you show him the Sandman that sent you and show him the seal on the letter. Sandman. I like that. The handling of the Roland affair was masterful, and I especially liked the snowstorm touch. It really put the fear in him, didn't it, superstitious fool? His removal has moved our timetable ahead by at least 2 years and has spared us the trouble of assassinating him at a more delicate time. All arrangements are in place. My minions have engineered the recall of Queen Catherine to her homeland in Arathia to attend the funeral of her father. She will not return this year, and that only leaves her worthless brat Nikolai and the idiot regent Wilbur Humphrey running things at the palace. The people have begun to sense that something is wrong, that perhaps the gods are angry, that perhaps the Iron Fists have lost the mandate of heaven, which is the name of the game. Just a few more disasters and then there may well be a full-scale rebellion. We'll be raiding at the breach, ready to step in and tell the sheep what to do and when to do it. Already our temples are spread across the land, offering aid to those displaced by disasters and comfort to the bereaved. Yes, remain in New Sorpogal and stay out of sight. When the times are right, you will be contacted and given further instructions. So take heart and know that our plan proceeds smoothly, and everything will be, and we will be ruling in this world soon. Your position in our hierarchy will be very high. That's a bad thing. We don't want that. But, no, you're not this Solomon or anything. Solomon, from what I can tell, is dead, and we happen across his encampment where he had been. But Andover Potbellow, we show him the letter. Oh, this here, I'm supposed to give you this money. Now go away before we seem together. Someone will get suspicious. Quest. Oh, could you do the Temple of Ba a favor? It appears that my brethren left the old temple to the northwest of here in a little too much of a hurry, and a candelabra necessary for some of our rituals was left behind. None of the Ba priests want to go back there because they're afraid of whatever curse has been placed on the temple. If you were to bring back the candelabra to me, however, I could reward you in their place. And then, you can just talk to people. And then you talk to Innkeep, and you can either, rent rooms or fill your packs, which lets you sleep outside of an inn. Have a drink, you can get tipsy, and tip barkeep, you can occasionally learn rumors. You gotta have a drink, and then you can tip barkeep, and you can learn interesting information. For example, this thing about the summer solstice doesn't look like too much, and my group won't need to worry about it because I don't have a druid. But if I had a druid, knowing when the solstices are is important to their promotion quests, which lets them become high druids or arch druids, I think. So, and now, let's show you combat. There are guys up there. You see them? The little goblins, the hobgoblins. They're actually just goblins. I'm being silly. I really wish that I could figure out why my sound was messed up on this. This music in this game is really good. Let's see here. I want to set a combat spell. Let's see here. It does 1 to 8 points of damage and does 2 to 6 points of damage, but it always hits. So for right now, this is This game, I'm going to want to focus on fire magic for him. So I've now got a slight advantage to using fire magic when I cast. So I'm going to set this as my ready spell, and you don't need to worry about ready spells. So I'm going to climb up on this hill. Now, the enemy that I'm going to want to focus on is going to be the Goblin Shaman, because this guy can attack back at range. He's the only one in the group that can, thankfully. So if I take him out, I can just sit here and attack from this hill without worrying about them. This is part of the reason why it's nice that this game lets you do turn-based combat, because it keeps them from moving around. But it's also why it's nice to have free range, because you can move around and avoid enemy attacks. Just interesting information. For example, I'm just sitting here shooting them, and they're all dead. And then I go loot. I sprint everywhere. I don't really see a point not to. Low-level monsters typically don't have a lot of gold, but they had some. This guy's got learning training, which gives me a bonus to my experience gain. I'm going to have so many screenshots of this. My screenshots button is tied to the page up, page down button, which in this game is also the button you need to click to look up or look down. So every time my character does that little head tilt upwards, I'm screenshotting. It's just an amusing tidbit. Let's see here. Then, Town Hall, another good place to come. Frank Fairchild gives me a quest. Members of the Shadow Guild have moved down south and have been recently trying to exert their influence over merchants in the area. I refuse them access to our town, so they kidnap Sherry Carnegie, an old healer loved by the townspeople, in an attempt to convince me to let them operate here. I can't believe that their extortion has moved so far south. I thought I was safe from that down here. Please rescue Sherry. I can offer you some kind of reward, some money as a reward, and I'm sure the townsfolk would appreciate her return. This guy told me where I can get a promotion in Mist. I'm not worried about that yet. Then bounty hunts. If you can find the monster that is highlighted here. For example, I need to kill an apprentice mage. If I can find it and kill it before the end of the month, which yes, this game does do a month system, standard months, I get a small bonus in money. It's really amusing, though, because sometimes I've come in and because the monster of the month is randomly generated, I've seen them trying to get you to attack very high-level enemies very early on in the game. Which is just, it's just like, no, I'm not ready to fight Titans, which are a common enemy in this game. Just very high level. Oh, I don't have Wizard's Eye, do I? Oh, I do. Good. Wizard's Eye gives me a mini-map, at least at the level she can cast. It gives me a mini-map that shows the green dots where where neutrals are and red dots where my enemies are. I wanted to know because I've played this game several times before, and I know that path has several enemies living down it. But you're almost dead. Die. And I knew they'd be coming around eventually. Now, the other game in the series that I also really like, the number 7, much like this one, is designed much like this one, rather, I should say, but is slightly graphically more advanced. So there are some advantages. Oh, and there's the Apprentice Mage. Part of the reason why I came over this way. They're not very strong enemies, but they are the first ones that you meet who can cast spells at you. For example, I think, yep, Apprentice Mages use the same spell that my guy's using, which is Fire Arrow. And then there are also Journeyman Mages and Master Mages back in that direction. But I'm not going to worry about... Oh, came over the hill. The good news is I should be almost done. Yeah, there's 2 more guys trapped back there on the other side of the hill, and I'm about to kill one of them. Now, I'm not trying to avoid their attacks right now because it can run up the amount of time it takes to do a simple fight. And there we go. I've killed them all, and now that little indicator, that little circle next to my character's heads is green. That means that it's safe, there's no enemies nearby, and if I wanted to, I could actually sleep. The one downside to killing these Apprentice Mages is that sometimes it'll trigger the townspeople to attack you. Because the Apprentice Mages are typically townspeople who are just like, I'm done, I want to go be an evil guy now. So they were out there learning and trying to be evil. Let's see here. Hit Z, and nobody is quite ready to level up yet. That's what would be up here. But I think this is a good place to cut the first episode. And until next time, guys, this is Raytac signing on out. I hope y'all have fun. Bye!